Hello guys, and welcome back to this very exciting video. What I've got for you today is a theory video. I'm going to show you theoretically how I built this SaaS. I'm not going to go and build the SaaS today just because we're short on time, but we will make another video on this, on how I actually did it. But without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing you want to do is, we did release a video on this. So if you just go on my channel, we'll leave a link to this video somewhere, either in the description or here or wherever it might be. It's this one here. So make your own SaaS with this free template. So let's just talk a little bit about that. If you go on Google and type in Vercel SaaS Stripe, okay, then you can actually get this template right here for free. It's completely free. All you have to do is run through the steps one by one. It is quite technical, okay? It does take a little bit of technical knowledge, but if you can run through it, I ran through it in 20 minutes and I managed to install the entire thing, okay? And then what I did was I took this dashboard, okay, and I turned it into what you can see here, which is docuscrapeai.com. Very, very interesting methodology of how I did this, okay? So what you want to do is, once you're at this point, okay, where it says that's it, I know that was quite a lot to get through, but it's worth it, you're now ready to earn recurring revenue from your customers, you now should save that as a GitHub, okay, and then you have that accessible to you at any time, at any point. If you want to quickly start another MVP, another SaaS, whatever it might be, you're ready to go almost immediately. So all I did was I did exactly that. I took the boilerplate, this thing here, and I took it into Cursor, and I literally just sat and talked to Cursor and built this, okay? That's all I did. There's nothing special here, okay? I don't even know how to program, as you guys know. So you can see here it's got pricing, so unlimited monthly. I'm not trying to sell this SaaS, by the way. I don't care if you get this. This is just an example for me, and I wanted to learn how to do this. But there is a little bit more information here that I think is very important to understand. So I'm going to give away what I would say is a piece of gold in this video, okay? Which is this button right here, okay? This button right here that doesn't work. No, I'm joking. It does work. It's just I want to make a Stripe-based SaaS project using supabase, okay? So this button right here, this is the special button, okay? Which until 2 or 3 days ago, I did not fully understand how to implement this. But all this is, okay, is a Python script hosted on DigitalOcean, okay? So this is what I want to talk about in this video. So this is how I'm going to make a few SaaSes this year, okay? And I'm going to do them. I'm probably not going to be advertising them on the channel. I'm just going to be using them as examples, and I'm going to combine the two things I've been working on recently, which are SaaS projects and SEO projects, like Find a Tradesperson Island, okay? So if we just go on Search Console here. Now, a lot of people say, oh, all of these websites, they get an initial boost and then they get destroyed on Google. That's not the case with Find a Tradesperson Island, okay? If I go on most recent date, you'll actually see that it got 2,000 impressions yesterday, which is, you know, pretty close to an all-time high if you don't include when I released videos and people searched for the website. So there is potential here. It's not all just hype and then death, okay? There is actually some potential here for growth, okay? So let's just see if this is finished. There we go. Yes, I know this is a little bit messed up with the green and stuff. Sorry, with the white. But what it actually does is it scrapes documentation, real documentation, and gives you code snippets from the latest documentation, okay? Now, I still need to, you know, work on this, make it better, etc., but this is just the concept. Now, all this is a Python script, okay, using something called Fast API. So let's just quickly talk about this. So the first thing you want to do is create a boilerplate using the Vercel SaaS template. That puts things behind oauth and behind a login. So once you have once you have it set up, put a slash dashboard behind a paywall, which you can do very easily with Cursor. All I said was make sure no one can press this button, the special button, without paying for the SaaS. Okay, that's all I did. There's nothing special here. Then you create a Python script, which does, it doesn't have to be Python, it's just, I work best with Python. For some reason, I understand Python better than JavaScript. I don't know why, but Python just makes more sense to me, which does something, okay? So it's hard for me to tell you what that Python script should do, okay? That's the basis of the SaaS. And then create a fast API Python script, Python server, again, using Claude. So I actually use Claude for this. If I go on my Claude chats, I'll show you this. I'll show you this in action. So I'll actually show you this conversation, guys, just because I think this is quite, it's an interesting thing to see. So first thing I said was, do you know what s.gina does? r.gina is the other version of Gina. I aim to be cautious and honest. I don't know what they mean, okay? So then what I did was I just fed Claude this Gina prompt, which is very, very useful, by the way. If you go on integrate and press copy full prompt, what it does is it actually just gives the LLM what Gina does, okay? And then it says, this is Gina, I said this is Gina, and then it says, based on documentation, I can explain, Gina does this, Gina does that, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then I gave it the documentation for Fast API, okay? And then I gave it something else, which this is my universal scraping script, which I made a few videos ago as a reference. I want you to make a Python fast API project. I'll be launching on DigitalOcean, load of API keys. I am attaching a similar kind of script. This will be my server for the project. My supabase has this schema. Not sure if it's relevant to you, but if this will come from my front end, blah, blah, blah. Again, not sure if this is needed, so I wasn't even sure what I was doing at this point, and I'm going to tell you something else, guys, as well in a second. Actually, I'll tell you now. So the way that I learned how to do all of this is while I was doing the pots, okay, I used GPT voice advanced mode to learn about how to do this. So if I can just find... So literally, while I was doing the pots, okay, while I was washing up, while I was cleaning the kitchen, blah, 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 I decided to just put GPT voice advanced mode on and just ask it the questions that I needed to know, okay? This came from Ed, by the way. Ed told me to do this. So, hey, ChatGPT, how are you today? Yeah, I'm doing really good. So I have a couple of questions for you about Next.js, if you could help me. So basically what I've done is I've installed a Vercel boilerplate, which includes Stripe, supabase, oauth, and everything else, blah, blah, blah. But I just had no idea how to actually conceptualize having a back end and a front end together. So it started to explain it. I don't know what the hell that says. Oh, sorry, I was just talking to myself. Continue. Okay, deploy it, blah, blah, blah. This helps me understand it, but there are a few things. So, I mean, it would be necessary to connect them, right? Because I want people to purchase a plan and be automatically related to this dashboard. So, I mean, in terms of that, they'd have to be connected. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, hang on. Do you have access to the internet? No, I don't. Do you know what Harbor SEO is? No, I don't. So basically, Harbor SEO is my SaaS. There's no subdomain. How do I do this? And then it started to explain this. And then I said it was on Next.js. And then this is where I really started to understand, okay? Literally from ChatGPT just explaining to me how to do it, okay? And then somewhere down here, it mentions Python, I believe, or I mentioned Python. Sorry to interrupt you, but can I have a Python script on a Node.js backend? And then it actually explains to me exactly how to do this. Now, I just wanted to mention this because I thought this was really, really cool and interesting, okay? And then we just go back here, and then I just talk about, so they write a prompt, like create me a SaaS boilerplate using Next.js, supabase, blah, blah, blah. The idea behind my SaaS is that we use s.gina and r.gina in tangent to scrape the latest documentation of any SaaS. The way that I see this working would be blah, 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 and then all of this information that you can read for yourselves. If you want, you can pause the video. And then literally, I just worked on this for about an hour, created the entire Python script, okay? So you can just see, all I'm doing is just talking to Claude, asking it to improve this, change this, make this better, blah, 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 okay? And then remember, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing at this point. I had never done this before. So create a fast API server using Claude, launch the server on, I used, what's it called? DigitalOcean. You can use whatever the hell you want. It's not an advert for DigitalOcean. So launch the server on DigitalOcean and then make the button on your Next.js project in the dashboard send a request to that server, and then the final stage of this is display the result. So if you actually see here in this Claude conversation, I actually was doing two things. I was using it to make the Python script, but I also sent it the code for this page here, so dashboard.tsx or scraper.tsx in this case. And I just said, when someone presses this button, make sure to display the results on the right, okay? So you can kind of see that I got this idea from Harbor. This looks a little bit like Harbor if you've ever used Harbor. On the left, it has the sideboard, the inputs, and then the generation here. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. It's a little bit more complicated than what I'm showing you in this video. It did take me 5 to 6 hours to complete this entire project, but overall, it wasn't that complicated. I have a working product, which although it doesn't look the best, it actually does work, and it actually does give, it does exactly that, okay? It scrapes the latest documentation of anything that you mention in the prompt here. Anyway, we'll leave the video there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching all the way to the end of the video, you're an absolute legend, and I'll see you very, very soon with some more content. Peace out. Watch this video if you're interested in how you can make client websites in under 20 minutes, which you can sell to people.